Save your marriage with silence. Now you might be saying, yes, Josh, we know I need to shut my mouth because it gets me in trouble. Anything new you want to teach me? That's not the point I'm trying to make here. Today, I'm going to teach you how to become 3 different men that together wield the secret power of your wife's attraction. And trust me, it's a heck of a lot easier than it sounds. Yet, there's a reason most husbands get this crucial technique wrong. I'll break it all down and show you how to get your marriage back to a better place than it's ever been before. Let's go. Silence is golden. And this has never been truer when it comes to marriage or any relationship for that matter. Let me clarify that when I say silence, I'm not talking about never opening your mouth or letting her walk all over you. And I'm not talking about the silent treatment or just flat out ignoring her. What I'm referring to is having the power over your emotions and maintaining a calmness, a peace under fire. And when things get heated, when she criticizes you or when she's testing you, and in case you didn't already know, you're always going to be tested every single day, but you remain calm. Because it doesn't matter if it's your first date or your golden anniversary, she will always test you. I'll even make the bold claim that the core reason she has lost attraction, respect, and appreciation and never wants to be with you again is because 80% of it comes from tests. And you see, the most common reaction from husbands when their wife has a problem is to try to solve it right away. And logically, this would make sense if she was logical. Because if you just got rid of her problem, she would be happy and peace would be restored. But if the problem is so serious that she's calling it quits on the marriage and decides to move out, or if she's even wanting a divorce, your emotions prompt you to react defensively and fight on the spot to get her back. I don't mean physically fight, but emotionally. To beg, to plead, to convince her that you'll do everything in your power to change, that things will be different. This is actually counterproductive because most women consider this as manipulation, right? And she's not wrong. Taking action only when she threatens divorce is manipulative. She senses that indirect nature of you, and in some cases might bring temporary relief, but even then, the same outcome is always inevitable. The marriage is doomed to fail, period. But that can change with what I'm about to show you today. This is where silence comes in. Arguably, one of the most important factors of saving your marriage is your ability to understand your wife on an emotional, psychological level. To understand that her reactions come from a place of sincerity. Here's what I mean. When she's nagging, stabbing, and criticizing you, it's all a test to make you a better man. This is coming from her core feminine state. All women do this. But on the other hand, when a man succumbs to his emotions and reacts in a similar manner, he is also coming across as feminine to her. He's demonstrating his neediness. This is repulsive to her. You are triggering her biological instincts to run in the other direction because deep down in the unconscious depths of her soul, she doesn't trust you. But the man who has power over his emotions and chooses when and how to respond, she sees this man as masculine and safe, and it allows her to be her feminine self. Wielding this power is the difference between responding and reacting. So first things first, what you can do is in a crucial moment before you react, give yourself 10 seconds of silence and 3 deep breaths. Look at her in the eyes and calm down. This will temper your initial emotional reaction and let you recognize that the conflict before you isn't worth going into with the way you see things. It helps you create a controlled manner. And if you need an additional 10 seconds, by all means, take it. It's like refusing to stop at a railroad crossing when the lights are flashing. If you veer out onto that track, you're just asking to play chicken with a freight train. Simply speaking, if you can own your emotions and process the ability to silently assess and then respond instead of react, then she'll automatically start to feel differently towards you because your behaviors directly affect the way she feels towards you, not your words. You're going to spark this innate curiosity in her and magical things will start to happen. She will find excuses to hang out with you more often, and she will want to follow you because you will become this next first type of man. Let me show you who he is. The first man you must become is the leader. A client of mine, Jack, has a strong personality, and so does his wife. Often they would butt heads, so to speak, and there's no one else on this planet that gets him more riled up than her. Does that sound familiar? Only after a few years of marriage, they got comfortable talking more aggressively to each other when they would argue. When she was frustrated over something he did, she would speak in a tone that would come across as emasculating, putting him down, rolling her eyes, just utter disrespect. He noticed this is how often his mother would make his father feel. This, of course, would strike a nerve with Jack, like setting fire to a stack of papers, dousing gasoline, and tossing a stick of dynamite for good measure. Jack would respond by losing his temper and raising his voice, much like his father. By the way, his mother and his father also had a divorce. So an argument would ensue, and it would always lead to Jack storming off, hours of not talking, and then one of them having to break the ice and apologize to the other. It got to a point where something had to change. They have small children, and they were aware of the damage they were doing to their family. Jack told me straight up, I know what I have to change in those situations, but I've never seen to have the strength or just the control to do so. It just makes me want to explode. I mean, who hasn't been there at some point or another, right? But what do you think would happen if Jack changed the way he reacted in those situations? If he fought with all of his might to tame the ferocious beast within a simple 10-second pause? I'll tell you what happened at first. It surprised his wife. She'd gotten used to the pattern of overheating and came to expect it at times, to even subconsciously set him off on purpose. So the first time their conversation drifted toward an argument and he didn't react in the same way, she didn't know how to respond or what to even say. She had no choice but to follow his lead and stay calm as well. His strong personality wielded a new kind of strength, subtle but ever so sovereign. You see, he actually had the power to completely change the dynamic of their relationship. He went from a fiery hothead of neediness and insecurity to this unfazed stone tablet of masculinity. Silence was a savior in that moment, like a fortress of inner strength shielding him against the arrows of conflict. Now, the second persona you must embody, well, you're about to find out. The second man you must become is the Lighthouse. Now, a poetic metaphorical expression that I love is this: a tranquil heart in the tempest of words is the lighthouse guiding ships safely through turbulent seas. When you use silence to tame your emotions and become a leader in the moment, you're like a lighthouse guiding her from rough waters to a solemn place of security. She will love you for this. I would even argue it is your biggest gift you can give her as a man. Take one of my clients, Greg, for example. He was married for 17 years and was close to retiring as a US Marine when his marriage started to crumble. For a decade, he did a poor job of emotionally connecting with his wife. This was made worse from a particular difficult tour in Afghanistan where the enemy would weaponize children. Greg came home and was nervous. On his second day home, they attended a family event where there's lots of children, and he had a panic attack that caused him to leave. His wife didn't understand what he was going through and accused him of not wanting to be a part of the family, which strained the relationship even further. He quickly became depressed and retreated into pornography. And then this happened.
Even still, she would understand if I was looking at pornography when we were in a time apart, but she was hurt because she says I rejected her that night, that she asked me to come to bed and I didn't. I stayed up late and then I was looking at porn.
His wife felt betrayed. This opened up new wounds that never really healed and accelerated the disconnection between them. More and more years passed with no reconciliation, just living brokenly as a co-parents and roommates. After another year of overseas, she had gotten so used to his absence that when he finally returned, the home fires were no longer burning and she said she wanted the divorce. She was even having an emotional affair with another man. Greg was heartbroken, while at the same time not surprised after what their marriage amounted to. Desperate to change the end of his story, he came across one of my videos online and reached out. I was able to work with Greg and teach him to hone this important attribute among some others. And in less than a few weeks of implementing this trait, he saw an instant change in his marriage. You see, he was already actually practicing these skills. He just didn't even realize it. Being in the Marines and in the military, they use a process called OODA. It means observe, orient, decide, and then act. That's how they deal with the stresses of combat. To observe what's going on, orient yourself on the problem, make a decision, and then act through that. Greg's nervous system has been tempered to do this under incredible physical stressors. He had decades of training with this physically, but just never tried to do it emotionally, let alone with his wife. He became very successful, inducing her feminine state, becoming that lighthouse that guides her, and it was life-changing for him just weeks after doing it successfully. Their marriage is now thriving better than ever before. Let's take a look at the third person you must embody. The third man you must become is the enlightened man. You see, when you wield control over your emotions by elevating your willpower to a higher place, it's like stepping outside of yourself and viewing things from a third person perspective. You see the situation for what it really is, instead of being trapped inside this matrix. And I can't help but think of the movie The Matrix, the smash hit phenomenon from 1999, with groundbreaking special effects and a bold exploration of reality as we know it. There's that powerful scene at the climax of the film, and spoiler alert if you haven't seen it, but when Keanu Reeves, as Neo, is in the final fight of his life, inside the Matrix, all hope seems lost, as he's shot by presumed dead by all the villainous agents, right? But when Trinity, the powerful female force that guides Neo, whispers in his ear from the other side, the true reality, he finally taps into that strength that's inside of him that's been there this whole time. He wakes up, the agents turn around in disbelief and simultaneously fire their guns at him, to which he calmly says no, and raises his hand out in front of him, a commanding action that stops all the bullets in midair. He then picks out a bullet that's suspended in front of him, looks at it, and tosses it to the ground. That's when Lawrence Fishburne's character, everyone in the theater watching the movie, realizes he is the one that was prophesied to save humanity from the machines. It's powerful. His renewed sense of self gave him the power to defeat the otherwise undefeatable villain. Now, of course, your wife is not a fictional movie villain. Maybe she is. No. But when you implement silence in the heat of the moment, you are stopping that metaphorical bullet in midair, stopping from penetrating you, causing you to react. You can and will save your marriage with silence by implementing a simple 10-second pause when you're tempted to speak in haste. Doing so will give you the power to respond instead of react. This will solidify your masculine framework as you become the leader, become a lighthouse, and become Neo, the enlightened one. Just the one that doesn't react to every little thing she says, right? Now, I recommend you tell yourself these affirmations. I'm a leader, I'm a lighthouse, I am enlightened. You'll etch them into your core, in your subconscious brain, and in those moments under fire, you will come out more naturally. This will change the way she reacts to you and how you feel towards her. In her eyes, you'll become a safe place for her. And because you give her safety, the most important need she has, she'll feel safe and she'll love you again. Now, if you're struggling right now to do this or just fix your marriage in general, and you want to win your wife back and have that connection be stronger than it ever was, you can set up a free call with our marriage evaluation team down below. Make sure you're fully committed to becoming Neo, okay? Really understanding your situation, how we can help you, and we'll iron out those details and give you a proven plan with techniques, how to get her back. Thanks for watching the video. Smash like if you're new here and subscribe. Check out this video right here on nice guys, behaviors, and I will see you on the next video. Cheers. Love you.